Welcome to Melodifestivalen 2020. Now we have the big pleasure to speak to the man that made it all possible, the senior producer of the show, Björkman. Hi Krista, nice to see you again.
Nice to meet you again.
It's always a joy to chat with you because you're giving us so much good music and a really good show in the European music world. How do you explain the popularity of Melodifestivalen?
I think there are many reasons, but one of them is definitely consistency. That we have kept to a format for a very long time, and we have never ever stopped, even in times when it was like quite bad, I have to admit, in the 90s. It was still there every year, same format, and then we changed it all in 2002 and made it bigger and fancier and more glittery, and since then it's been uphill all the time.
In the early zeros, Svante Stockselius was part of the Eurovision executive supervisor. I think he started then. Together with you, you created that format as is now?
Yeah, together with him, actually. So he was here the first year in 2002, and then he left us. And we sat there with this little baby that we had just, sort of started and created. And then we just sat down and say, okay, we have a starting point. Now, let's get to work and really develop it and make it become something that is even bigger than just a TV show. So what we've done is that we've actually taken that TV show to something that is today a family unity thing. It's almost like a holiday here. And people have traditions around how they see it and together with whom they see it and what they eat and what they wear even. So it has become something exceptional.
Last week we saw the Andra Hansen, and in this one inserted was the Hall of Fame. Can you explain to us how did the idea come up to do this? And first to answer the question.
We started talking about the fact that we are celebrating this year the 60th winner of Melodifestivalen, to be the 60th winner on Saturday. And to celebrate that, we discussed different options, and one of them was to actually create something that will remind people of what we actually leave behind. If you just look at a show like this from one occasion, one Saturday night, it is light entertainment, it is glitzy, it's glam, and not very, very serious. However, if you start looking over time, you have to consider what it leaves behind. What is the trace that it leaves and gives to your country? And when you look upon it that way, it becomes very important, because what defines a nation and a people is actually what they do together, what they experience together, and the collective memories that they carry over generations. And you saw examples of that last Saturday, where we had artists that actually competed in '59 and has still since been a huge star in our country and in your country even.
Siw Malmkvist, yes,
and she even competed for you. Or for West Germany at that time.
Yes, wow.
and to show that whole, from her to Loreen and Måns, who were also part of the show, then it becomes important. Then it becomes something that it's worth praising and memorizing, because it leaves you with a cultural footprint.
Indeed, yeah.
And the people who have been awarded, is there also a plan to maybe set up a museum or some place where the Hall of Fame can be also seen long term?
Yes, it is under negotiation. It takes time. However, we started talking about this in September, so we haven't had time to actually finalize those discussions, but we do have them, and we have a few different options, and the plan is to actually open a physical museum by the time we reach Melodifestivalen next year, and that's when it's going to open. That's the plan.
Would it be in Stockholm?
It will be in Stockholm.
Now, looking like at the former artists, it seems to be that a lot of them are very, very popular internationally. Like, for example, Linda Benson, or also like a lot of the Schlager artists. But when they come to Melodifestivalen, it's very hard for them to get to the second round.
Yeah.
Is there some explanation behind it? Like, would you say that they are more popular right now internationally compared to maybe in Sweden? And is it difficult to get these artists back when they fail like a couple of times?
Well, yes and no. I mean, times changes, music taste changes, and it is a hit machine, what we're doing. And one of the success formulas is actually that the music that we produce in our show is also relevant outside of the show. And we all know that the people who actually carry new music is a very young audience. The rest of us, we like what we see, but we don't necessarily go out and buy that much music. Not like we did when we were younger. So it's quite normal. I mean, the sales are important, and also they are very energetic when it comes to voting. The young music and the popular music of its time, it's what sets the rules. And that means that the older artists have somewhat a problem to make it to the final, for example. Sometimes we have the exceptions, like Lina Hedlund last year with Victorious, with the sort of classic Schlager pop song, made it straight to the final because it was well done. So you never know. And we also have the Hasse Andersson a few years ago, Guld and gröna skogar, which is a huge hit in Sweden. And that's an old artist. Ove Törnqvist turned 88 the night of the final. So, I mean, there are exceptions. So you can't really say for sure that it's over, because I don't think it is. I think it's a matter of timing, the right song, and the right packaging.
Fantastic, wow.
We've been talking about the past, but now I'd like to talk with you about the future of the Melodifestivalen, because you're a very visionary man. Where do you see the Melodifestivalen in like 10 years, and what changes would you like to bring to Melo?
Well, I don't intend to make any changes, because that is up to the person who comes after me. Because after next year, I've done 20 years, and that's my last year. So I'm hoping for the future that I, as a spectator of the show, will be very happy. Whatever they do, whatever they find new ways in, I hope they will continue to develop it and keep it relevant and keep it up to date. And I'm looking forward to enjoying it from your side as a spectator.
Can we also imagine to have you like as part of the Eurovision Organization in the future? Because I think you have done also a lot, like also on international stage.
Yeah, I mean, I've produced 5 Eurovisions so far, and I really love doing that. So yes, if I'm asked to do that, I will do that again. To work from an EBU point of view, I would say no, because I'm not very diplomatic and I'm not very good at politics. So I'm a creator. So I really, really enjoy working with the show itself. So the rest somebody else can do.
Yes. So also like the scope of the Eurovision has expanded. Now we have got Australia, and then also like there are discussions if also like, for example, it should move to the US, if also other countries should be part of it. What is your opinion on this? Would you say we are like at a level where it should stay as it is, or would you also say everybody is welcome?
First of all, I think anyone should be welcome. Definitely. There is no reason why we shouldn't bring more countries into it. However, when it comes to the States, as you might know, I am one of the 4 people who actually carry the license to try to do that. And we are working on that. I've been going back and forth to LA for months now, and we are progressing. slowly but surely, and we will probably know by fall this year if it's going to happen. We do so far doing well, and no setbacks, but it's complicated, it's huge, and it's a massive project, and it's an expensive project. So we'll see. We're not there yet, but so far it's going well. So very exciting.
What would it be called in America? It cannot be Eurovision Song Contest.
No.
What's the name?
We haven't decided on a name yet. At the moment, when we talk about it, we use just the American Song Contest, as a working name. But I'm not sure that will be the name. It's up to actually also in the end the network that eventually will carry it. They will have a say in that. So we're not there yet.
One thing that's hitting Europe at the moment is the coronavirus, and many activities and events are being cancelled, postponed. How likely would it also be the case for Eurovision Song Contest?
I haven't got any clue about that. That's an EBU matter. So far, we just follow, and like everybody else, we follow what's happening. SVT is following very closely what's happening. We listen to the authorities, what their advice is, and that's about the only thing you can do for now. And we'll see what happens. I mean, it affects everything. It affects, everything that carries a crowd is affected. So we'll see.
But would it be taking place without a live audience? Would that be possible to do that?
I would think that's an option, without knowing for sure. But yes, that's what they do in sports. They continue to play matches, but they do it with empty arenas. That is one option. It will be very odd, but I think anyway, the highest priority is to actually do it and find a winner, audience or no audience. I would think. I mean, I don't know, but I would think that.
Or we have no Eurovision this year, and then next year too. That's the other.
Yeah, that's one option.
Yes. So in one of your previous interviews, you said like it would be like really a dream or really nice to have the 7th victory of Sweden still in the time. Now we know all songs of this year, and I think there's really a strong competition. Do you think that they are like is any song which has got the chance to bring the 7th victory home?
I haven't got a clue. You never know till you're there, really. And when you hear everything in the right order, and you never know. But you always have to hope, and you always have to go and have that intention, because that otherwise, why even bother going to competition if you don't think that you have a possibility to win?
In the last years, it was also the case that for the juries, Sweden had really high results, but in the televoting somehow there were only limited votes.
Yeah.
Do you have an explanation for this? Is there something like some people in the internet write that people envy Sweden or like this? Do you have the impression as well, or do you think if the song would be good enough, then people would vote?
I mean, last year was very, very easy to understand, I have to say. When I first heard all the songs, it was very clear that already in the beginning, the 5 favorites were men, first of all. They were all very different. You had the young cute dancing guy with the pop song from Switzerland. You had the Eastern dramatic ballad from Russia. You had, what else did we have? The modern pop ballad from Holland. You had, what else did we have? One more.
Italy.
You had the cool, very progressive, upfront pop song from Italy. And you had the gospel from Sweden.
Yes.
Gospel is something that everybody likes, but usually not like the most. It's something that you recognize, right? So when you saw that from the beginning, it was like, that one's going to be tricky because the other ones have so definite target groups, you know, and they really hit each and one their own target group. So that one is simple to understand, I must say. And then if we go 1 year back further, it's Benjamin. Benjamin has had the coolest act. However, that song is extremely laid back. And I think he had one glance into the cameras every chorus. Like that. That was it. That was his only flirt with the audience. The song doesn't scream for attention. It's a really cool song, and it works very well on radio. But, you know, you have to scream in the Eurovision. You have to scream loud to be noticed.
Have you already heard the German song of this year? Because people are also comparing it with the song of Benjamin. So he has
really?
also got a similar voice. So let's see how this will go.
Right. No, I haven't heard that one yet. I usually never listen to the songs before we have a winner, because it affects me, and I start, you know, thinking strategically, and I don't want to do that.
Difficult thing.
Yeah, I just want to get the winner, and then we do the best we can with what we have, you know.
Before Melodifestivalen, when you start planning the season for this year, how many songs were submitted to SVT, and how difficult is it to select the top 28?
We had 2,500 songs. We start with eliminating what is like not at all good, or not even a full composition sometimes, and then we take out also what is extremely average, you know, like Formula One, A1. And then it leaves us usually with around 1,000 songs left. And then we put together a jury of music industry people. And they then boil it down to a top 100.
Wow.
And they choose, it's a long process. And they choose, and we are in the same room doing this, so it's a process, it's an open process. And they then have to define genre by genre, the best song, the most probable hit of what they hear in that room. And they do this openly. They don't vote, they can't be tactical, they have to agree.
Okay. Wow.
So they vote openly about that, and if 16, they are usually 16, and if 16 hands are up in the air on one song, we ask them a question. So is this the group's wish that this song should be in Melodifestivalen? And they have to say unanimously yes, and we bring it in. And they choose half of the 28 songs. When we have the 14 songs from them, we go back to our office and we keep whatever is left of the top 100, and then we start building TV out of it. Then we add, you know, diversity, different styles, different temperatures of songs and artists. And if we have some artists that we want into the competition that has announced that they want to be in, if there isn't a song that suit them, then we can go out and order new songs as well.
Wow.
But we do have that process, and it really works. It's hard, it's a lot of work, it takes time, but it's fun, a lot of fun to do it.
Can you imagine you'll be busy the whole year with doing that?
Yeah, absolutely.
I remember an interview that we did in Eskilstuna about 10, 15 years ago, and I asked one question: how does the year of Costa Björkman look like? And you were talking for 45 minutes, and you had really it's amazing life that you have. And
today I can do it in 1 minute.
but for this year's contest, so what are your predictions? What should go? Like if you could say five acts, could you say which 5 should go to Eurovision?
I could, but I won't. But I do have a feeling that our viewers would like to see a woman, because we haven't had one since Sanna.
Oh, that's a long time ago now.
That's some time ago. So it's about time, and I think we do have very strong female contenders this year, stronger than we've had in a long time. So if you ask the people, I think that's what they would say.
Last question from my side is about the hosts. How do you decide on the Melodifestivalen host? Like this year, last year, we know Serhat Finer is a fantastic host. This year also you picked really good ones. So what are the criteria to go about in selecting the hosts?
The criterias are a few. They have to love Melodifestivalen by heart. It is not good enough to have it on your CV to have been the host. You have to really bring
with a heart in it.
Yeah. They have to be warm, inclusive. They have to be able to entertain one way or another. They don't have to be good singers, but they should dare to sing anyway. And possibly quite funny.
Excellent. You've been at Eurovision back in '92. What are the fondest memories of that?
Wow, the whole thing. Just to win Melodifestivalen was a dream of mine. Only to enter was a dream of mine, and to win it was like a bonus. And to do a Eurovision from that side, obviously that was the biggest I had done at that point. And I do really make use of it. I do understand what they go through. I can understand their point of view when I'm talking to my production. And sometimes a multi-camera director or a lighting designer, can be very stubborn on what they like and what they want. And I can actually tell them, it is nice, there's nothing wrong with it, but in this particular shot, it does not do anything good for the artist. And you have to listen to the artist here. We need to maybe show the eyes instead of your lamp blinking. I find it very useful to have been an artist.
Okay.
Now, Sweden is such a role model regarding the Eurovision Song Contest, but in the last years we have been missing you in the junior contest. Are there any plans to come back, or can you say the background why Sweden is not participating?
Well, the reason is, first of all, that we are not responsible for the junior. The junior is under the children's department. So we have no say in that and how they spend their resources or what priorities they have. I have tried a couple of times to reason with them and to have a discussion with them, but they are very firm that they don't want to do it, and they have other things that they prefer to do. And so there's not very much I can do about it, actually. I have no influence over that.
Krista, thank you very much for taking the extensive time to chat with us. You're a busy man here at the moment, so we appreciate really that you took the time to chat with us, and we will miss you.
Well,
in a couple of years' time when you go back to...
But I'll be there. I'll be there with you. Yeah, reporting for someone or something.
Okay, so we're going to see you. Thank you very much, Tusen Tag, and lycka till for the Melodifestivalen final.
Which one is your favorite?